13th-ranked Tigers of Auburn University in town to take on the 5th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Well, you hear so much about the Volunteer Navy. Well, that's where we are tonight. In fact, we're aboard the TNT. A couple of hundred vessels moored just about 500 yards away from the stadium. They come in here by air, they come in here by car, and also by water. Mike, I'd like to get you to talk about a young fellow for Tennessee who has been an anchor, so to speak, as far as special teams and also in defense. And, of course, I'm talking about Dale Carter.
Well, Dale Carter, number 18, is an outstanding punt returner and kickoff return man. Special teams is a big factor in this game tonight. Watch Dale Carter. You noticed last year in the first play on the kickoff in the second half against Florida, he returned it over 90-plus yards for a touchdown and broke that game wide open.
All right, let's talk about Auburn. Injuries this week could play a very big part in the ballgame. Last week down in Austin, we saw the freshman running back from Montgomery, Smokin' Joe Frazier. And the word we have just before kickoff is that he might not be able to go. Who are we going to see?
Well, Smokin' Joe has a bad ankle, so I'm not sure he's going to provide any smoke in this game tonight. But we will see a young freshman, number 33, James Bostic, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A very strong running back, so he may get his chance to really make some noise tonight.
Okay, Johnny, time to party. Thanks for the use of your boat. We're getting ready for a kickoff. It will be the Volunteers against the Auburn Tigers. And Chris will be...
Volunteer flotilla. Now, the tough thing against Tennessee is to stay in the ballgame early, especially important when you're young like Auburn.
Sure. Auburn's a young football team. Tennessee has a lot more experience. Tennessee starts 20 seniors and juniors against them. Tennessee also is used to winning. They're 28-3-2 since 1988 in the middle of the season. I like Tennessee in this game because it's at home.
Maybe it'll end up in a tie. 2 of the last 3 years, that isn't. Auburn must contend with Carl Pickens. He's not a punter. He's warming up with a foot there, but he is going to be dangerous on the return team and also as a wide receiver. That comes up at 7:30 Eastern. Maybe he can punt. White, the quarterback for the Tigers, limbering up, getting ready for that Volunteer defense. Don't go away.
It's football time in Tennessee as over 96,000 fans have come by car, train, boat, and plane to share the thrills of an early season SEC tradition. The Auburn Tigers beat the Tennessee Volunteers.
Gets it away and has it complete to Alvin Harper. And he'll score. Option the pitch to Ansler. Touchdown, Tennessee. The Tennessee 13. Tennessee creeping up, blitz is there, pass is thrown, it is caught. Long enough and
no good. It was a loss.
We're very fortunate.
Let them off the hook the second half.
We've always said never die.
It was really disappointing.
I was just praying.
I have something to prove.
Whatever happens, happens.
Most others here along the Smoky Mountains, quiet, serene, innocent. But as the day matures, the streets fill with colors and sounds of the football faithful. The anticipation begins to mount as players make their way toward the gridiron with dreams of victory. This stadium has now become a small city of people. The big top has unfurled. It's game time. As ESPN presents Auburn and Tennessee, a Southern showcase. And tonight's winner will have a head start toward New Orleans on New Year's Day.
Focus in this game will be both quarterbacks, Andy Kelly and Stan White. But let's look at Stan White first of all and see what he's going to face. The 2-deep coverage of Tennessee, where the opening in the 2-deep coverage will be over the middle, about 18 to 25 yards, where you try to get a tight end over the middle where the safeties, where you got them stretched. Also watch the rush of the Tennessee defensive end, Smith and Mims, both very good at rushing the passer. If that happens, then that opens up draws. That opens up traps and screens, and that's what I look forward to watching Auburn do. This should be a great matchup.
All right, you guys hearing me? All right, now listen, I just spoke with a Tennessee trainer. The only key injury for this game is center John Fisher for Tennessee. He is dressed. He will not start. It's his ankle. All right. The other thing, with all the emotion down here tonight, you guys with Auburn in here, when Tennessee takes the field, 97,000 people, this place is going to explode.
ESPN's coverage of CFA 1,000 people, and they just erupt when this football team takes the field. 43rd meeting. Auburn leads the series 22-17-3. But the last 6 games, take a look at that. 2-2-2. This will be the last time that they will play during the regular season under the new SEC alignment, unless they meet in the playoffs. They won't play again, Mike, until the late 1990s. And quite frankly, these schools both are a little sad about it. This is a great rivalry that they would like to see continue. We're underway. Carter loses the ball at the 6. Running in circles, and he will be tackled at the 11-yard line as the flag comes down. The starters on offense for the Tennessee Volunteers, brought to you by Energizer. Well, Andy Kelly, of course, is the quarterback. He's a freshman, but James Stewart out of Morristown, Tennessee, he really has been drawing a lot of attention. The wide receivers, Carl Pickens, you got to keep an eye on him, and certainly Auburn will tonight with at least one man. And up front, Tom Myslinski. He's been moved over from center, but he's the glue. It's a young offensive line losing 2 first-round draft choices, McCray and Davis, to the NFL. And now the penalty has pushed it back to the 6-yard line, and Tennessee will start off with not so good field position.
Ron, first down is important for both these teams because they don't want to get in long yardage situations against both these tough defenses.
And Tennessee, because of their field position, will open with 2 tight ends and 2 backs in an I formation. Kenneth Campbell bounces off one tackler and will be knocked back for a loss. And let's check the starters on defense for the Auburn Tigers. A very good and active front 4, headed by John Wilson. The linebackers, Darryl Crawford had such a great game last week. Keep an eye on James Willis tonight. And in the secondary, he's only a freshman. The number 6, Fred Smith. He could be a great one before it's all said and done at Auburn. Short yardage on the running play. This time it's James Stewart, and a very important 3rd down situation for Tennessee.
Really is, Ron. And I've noticed in the first 2 plays, Brian Spivey is playing the center position. Chucky Johnson, 6'2", 280s on the nose. So how that develops tonight will affect this ball game. The regular center, John Fisher, is out for Tennessee.
Mark Adams, the tight end, comes limping off the field on the near sideline. Kelly throws it complete. That will be enough for the first down as Von Reeves catches the ball and comes out of the vicinity of the 18-yard line.
You're going to see Andy Kelly with a good pass to Von Reeves. There's the play-action fake, which held the linebackers, a little pump fake. And Benny Pierce, number 97, is going to come up and make the tackle.
Huge 3rd down conversion. Tennessee still not yet to their own 20-yard line. Kelly throws to the safety valve, and Stewart, that is a great open field tackle. And the man we were just talking about in the starting lineups, James Willis. He's a sophomore from Huntsville, and Mikey is a 4'6" sprinter. Part of the speed that Pat Nye is extremely pleased with on this Auburn defense this year.
Ron, the linebackers run so well. Darryl Crawford, James Willis, Benny Pierce, they just run. They're so quick that you have to try to slow them down if you're Tennessee with some type of counter or reverse play.
Johnny Major strolling the sideline. He's a longtime friend of Pat Dye's. Said he hates to see this series come to an end as far as a regular basis. Stewart has 5, has 10, cut him off at 14.
Tennessee's did a good job of formationing and spreading people out. Here you see the ball given to James Stewart. Look at a good block. Now, Chuck Johnson, number 79, got upfield but penetrated too far upfield. Chuck Johnson's having his way with the center, but he's just too far upfield.
Auburn with an injured player, and it's James Willis who made the outstanding play in the left flat just a moment ago. We'll get the attendance figures for you momentarily sometime in the first quarter. But according to what the Tennessee officials told us from the walk-up that they had expected from the student allotment, that tonight, Mike, we would have a record crowd of over 97,000, and just whether it was 400, 500, or what. Anthony Judge will come in. He's a senior from Fort Lauderdale, replacing James Willis. Stewart to the right side. Not much there. Walter Tate got a hand out to help trip him up, and it's going to bring up a second down and about 9 for Tennessee.
Walter Tate is a factor on defense. 6'2", 300-some pounds, but again, he's playing on a center that's relatively inexperienced.
Mark Adams has come back in the ballgame, the tight end. He is still limping just a bit. 7th play of the drive. Well, they got the field spread out, and the youngster we talked about off the top, James Stewart, all the way out to the 43. Alex Thompson has to come up and make the stop.
What they're doing on second down in long yardage situation, Auburn is bringing an extra defensive back in. Tennessee is spreading them out with a one-back set. Here you see the tight end come inside and block on the linebacker. Number 56, Darrell Crawford, with Sprang Stewart for a good gain. Second down's been a good draw down for Tennessee.
Stewart already 32 yards on 4 carries. That's 8 per try. And that makes the play action work. And he is out there, and the ball is overthrown. Corey Fleming is the man they went upstairs with, and Kelly had him there. The value of the running game is going. Everybody was locked with the play action.
Well, there's 2 things that's valuable right here. The running game is working on the second down and third down. Corey Fleming's open because everybody wants to know where number 15 is, Carl Pickens. So he's going to draw double coverage. Tennessee needs to get Carl Pickens the football.
Again, Tennessee comes out in a one-back alignment. Stewart breaks it to the 50-yard line, and this will bring up a third down Tennessee, and the line to make is the 47 of Auburn. You can see Benny Price, number 97, the junior from Valdosta, getting off the turf.
Well, Tennessee's doing a good job against Auburn's nickel coverage. When they bring an extra defensive back in, they take out a defensive lineman. Tennessee, instead of throwing on long yardage situations, are running the football.
What's even more interesting about this drive, this is the 10th play of the drive, and they are just now to midfield. Kelly on 3rd and 3. Over the middle, incomplete. It's Aaron Hayden that he wanted. And you can see him holding onto his jersey. Kelly trying to get a call from the official saying that Hayden was held across the middle.
Ron, you made a good point about field position. You always like on the opening kickoff when they pin them down inside the 20-yard line that you have to go so far. You play a field position football game. It's tough to go the length of the field against a tough Auburn defense.
Bailey, very dangerous, had the long one against Ole Miss. And the left footer, Tom Hutton, hits this one 2 yards deep into the end zone. Hutton is only a freshman, and that is a 50-yard kick. We'll take a break. 10:38 left in this week. We had a magnificent evening out in the Lone Star State, and tonight we're going to have temperatures in the upper 50s, not a cloud in the sky, and the wind is negligible. McMillan gets the handoff on first down, passes the left side, and let's take a look at the starters on offense for the Auburn Tigers. At quarterback, last year was a freshman. He was dynamite in that 90 game. He's looking forward to this one tonight. As far as the wide receivers, Pedro Cherry lost this week for the entire season. That means this man, Herbert Casey, is going to have to step it up a notch. At a very fast offensive line, Chris Gray, he's a converted tight end on the left side. From the shotgun, and they run from it. Alex Smith goes for a couple. Chris Mims, one of the first men there to make the hit. And let's look at those defensive starters. Very good front four. Smith, a great pass rusher. You'll see him a lot tonight. Number 56. Darrell Hardy, number 87. You'll see him cover, and he also plays the run well. And in the secondary, he's Mr. Do-Everything. Number 18, Dale Carter. You'll see him in punt returns as well as playing in the secondary. You remember last year, he broke a very tight Florida game open with a second-half kickoff return. Volunteers never trailed again.
Auburn threw in third and short against Texas last week. Let's see if they do it again tonight.
They go with the run, and Smith is going to have the first down at the 31-yard line. Well, some distractions this week at Auburn as you look at Pat Dye. Former Auburn football players Eric Ramsey and also Alex Strong accusing the coaching staff of giving special payments to players. And also one of those players, Eric Ramsey, saying that he had tapes of coaches offering illegal inducements. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. As on the play, the ball is tipped, intended for Reed McMillan. I had breakfast early this morning with Pat Dye, and we talked about the situation. Obviously, he had no comment. He said, I'll have a comment after the ball game, but also I'm not going to get in any kind of argument publicly through the media with any former players. So that's how the situation stands. Auburn now will open their own internal investigation. They will turn it over to the NCAA, and if the NCAA feels as though it is warranted, then it will be taken further. So that's how it stands. And I want to talk to you about distractions for a team with things like that happening. Fake the reverse, pass is caught and got torn apart as he caught it, but Thomas Bailey with a gain of 18 yards.
Ron, this is the difference in Auburn's offense this year. Wide open, trick plays in here, but this play is just run magnificently. Watch the fake. The reverse is on. You see the crossing route of the wide receivers. Thomas Bailey, number 18, comes in your screen, makes a good catch. When he was a junior in high school, he had 6 touchdowns over 60 yards, which tells you he's a big play receiver.
Alex Smith gets the pitch. You can see him put a head down and running tough. Mike, now let's go to the distractions. How will that affect an Auburn team in a big game like this?
Well, there's two things that can happen when you have a problem like this. It can be a distraction, number one, for your players if you allow it. But Pat Dye is such a veteran coach. I think he's handled it perfectly. He's not really involved in it in this ballgame. He said, I'll talk about it tomorrow. He's told his players, don't worry about it. Second thing is it can rally a team, and I think that's what you'll see tonight. An Auburn team rally around their players and coaches.
He seemed to think, in fact, that the other players were miffed at the fact that their character was being questioned. Alex Smith with a good opening on the left side behind Gray and Tillman, and he'll take it for the first down.
Alex Smith has really started this game and running the ball well. You see he's had 22 rushes, 210 yards. Joe Frazier is supposed to be the starting tailback, is hurt. Here you see Alex Smith, Chazon Bradley comes off and makes the tackle, but Joe Frazier is the starting tailback. He's hurt. Gives another young tailback, Alex Smith, a chance to play.
Joe injured in his ankle. He was hobbling around in practice yesterday, unable to go. In the flat, thrown just beyond the outstretched hands of Alex Smith. What actually is happening for both of these football teams is because of injuries and also because of graduation and just attrition as a whole. They're playing a lot of very young players who normally wouldn't play in a game this big.
Well, this is a young Auburn offense. You're right, Ron, going against a veteran Tennessee defense.
Well, just as soon as we say Frazier's unable to go, he has checked into the ballgame. Number 5, the freshman from Montgomery. They go with Richardson. Little counteraction. Flag down at the line of scrimmage.
I think Auburn was moving.
J.J. Surlis, junior from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, number 48, the right defensive tackle, made the tackle.
The reason they had Joe Frazier in, he's a good receiver, Ron, out of the back that has good hands, so they like to get him in on third downs.
At illegal formation on the offense, linemen were not on the line of scrimmage. Repeat and second down.
It's Al Ford, a referee tonight. Illegal formation, only 6 men at the line of scrimmage. One other point that we should make. McMillan has been coming in and out of the ball game tonight. Now, McMillan, the fullback, is the leading pass receiver for Auburn. But you will notice both hands have got tape on. He injured his thumb against Texas last week. He tore the ligaments in his middle finger on his left hand during practice this week. So they don't know how well he can catch the ball this season. White will run it. Nice Nice job, and he gets out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Stan is 6'3", 200, but very quick for a big guy.
Larry Lacewell told me, the defensive coordinator, he said, I told him that I saw Tommy Maddox of UCLA play the other night, and he said he believes Tommy Maddox is a little better passer, but that Stan White is the better runner and not far off throwing the football. You see him avoid the tackle. I think these are two of the best young quarterbacks in the country.
Third down. The line to make is the Tennessee 30. He's got him, and that is McMillan. But if you want to know if he can catch the football, yes, but he fumbles. And Tennessee has recovered at the 12-yard line. Dale Carter makes the hit, and Sean Walker makes the recovery.
You watch the Michigan game today. Watch the fullback Reed McMillan on the angle play. This is exactly what Michigan faced against Florida State. Florida State ran so well today against them. Here you see the fullback come in the action. He just bends outside, gets the linebacker to overrun a little bit, Ernest Fields, and then comes right underneath him.
So, a big Auburn turnover. Let's take a break. 6:47 left to play, and Matt Sullivan talking with his offense, and they had a very good drive going, but the turnover was very costly. Tennessee again with poor field position. Adams, I beg your pardon, over the middle. Good for 20 yards, and let's go down to Adrian Carson on the sideline.
Ron, I'll tell you what, this is the result of 97,731 people here in the stadium. Do not adjust your decibel meters at home. This sucker is going off the scale almost every single play. Now, keep in mind, in a rivalry like this, the crowd can actually be penalized for participating too much in a game. How are you going to keep over 97,000 people quiet?
There's only one way, Adrian. Auburn scores.
You got to score or shut them down. That's exactly right. This is Stewart. Tries to turn the corner, and he does. He'll pick up about 5 yards. So here it is, tonight's attendance, and it's a new record, 97,731. In fact, 2 of their record attendances have come during this season.
You wonder why the tight end was coming open on the play before last. It's because 2 people were running with Carl Pickens. It's amazing what a great player can do for a defense.
Stewart again goes at right tackle. He will have the Tennessee first down. Carrick and Cunningham, one of the first men for the Auburn Tigers, number 47, steps up to make the hit. J.J. McCluskey checks back into the lineup. We have just been handed a note here that Yvonne Reeves injured his right shoulder. I mentioned the fact that Mark Adams had nicked his ankle and he had limped off earlier. Well, both tight ends for Tennessee have been nicked in the early going in this first quarter. Overthrown. He had lots of time. Alonzo Etheridge, a freshman from Selma, applying pressure from his left defensive end spot. 3 of 6, 37 yards. The number on Andy Kelly right now.
Now this is a second down situation. 2nd and 10. Auburn comes in with a nickel defense with the extra defensive back. Tennessee has been running the first couple times they've had this situation. Let's see if they go again on the ground.
Stewart, number 33. You see him break 1 tackle, and then Corey Barlow, who had the interception for a touchdown 1 week ago tonight against Texas, is out there to make the stick.
Auburn is such a big zone coverage team. You're really going to have to work to try to get a big play. And if you're playing Tennessee, the one thing you want to stop is the big play to Carl Pickens. So far in the ball game, they've kept people on him. They're in deep zones, and they double him at various times. So it's very difficult to get the ball to Carl Pickens, but they have to try to.
to the 50-yard line, and it's going to be a 4th down, and they still will need about 2.5 yards. Darryl Crawford, number 56. He had an outstanding game last week. He leads this team in tackles. Came out to make the stop. And you'll see 43, Tommy Hutton. Hutton not only has the great leg, but he's a left footer. And most return people don't like to face a left footer.
No, the ball just travels differently. Very difficult to catch.
He drives this one again. A 50-yarder the last time out, and this one bounded into the end zone. So this kick as well will be 50 yards. There's a timeout on the field. 3:32 left in the opening quarter. Tennessee nothing and Auburn nothing. The year was 1956, and Tennessee traveled to Birmingham with triple threat Johnny Majors. Majors ran for a touchdown against Auburn, and he threw for 2 more on opening day of a season at which he would be named runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Johnny also was named the SEC Most Valuable Player that year. Vols went 10-1, and they won the conference title. Now, we saw this same thing last week. Texas must have jumped off sides 5 times, and Stan White every time will take the snap and go down on one knee. They tried to, but I don't think he was across the neutral zone that time.
Well, you tell your center, if anybody jumps across the line of scrimmage, snap the football. But I don't like the idea of the quarterback going down on one knee right away like you see here. I'd rather he try to take a quarterback sneak or try to pick up something.
Well, it cost him a down because Tennessee was not charged, so it is 2nd down. There was no penalty. So Bob Meeks tried to catch the defensive front, but he didn't. Tony Richardson. Chuck Smith, a senior out of Athens, kind of a Lawrence Taylor type player, great athlete, comes over to make the hit. 56.
And against the Tennessee defense, they're so tough with the front 4 rush, and they play a 2-deep coverage. What I mean by that is the 2 safeties are on the hash. The tight end for Auburn has to be effective in this game. They have to be able to get the ball to him down the middle.
And of course, Auburn has 2 very fine ones in Fred Baxter and Victor Hall. Heavy pressure. Ball is overthrown. Thomas Bailey is who he wanted.
You're going to see the pressure here. They kept the tight end in the block. They had a pretty good play call. They were going to use max protection. Here you see Fred Baxter blocking, and there's the pressure that Stan White in his face saw, and he threw the pass just a little high.
George comes in to punt. Last week against Texas, 9 times he punted. Driving kick. This is very returnable. This is Carter. Carter still on his feet. And I'll tell you what, if he gets by him, Cunningham made the stop. If Carrigan doesn't get him, then he's got a long way to run down the sideline. It's a 44-yard kick and 7 on the return. Be sure to join Steve Physiak and Gary Danielson at 11 o'clock Eastern time tonight as the SC Trojans, led by tailback Mario Royster, take on the quack attack of the Oregon Ducks, led by quarterback Danny O'Neill. That's tonight, 11 o'clock Eastern time.
I was talking about Carl Pickens. I look for Tennessee to start moving him around to try to get him the football. Even when you have one great player, you got to get in his hands.
J.J. McCluskey on the receiving end of that pass. And for our first time this evening, let's go to Mr. Brando. So the Rice Owls fall for the first time this year. They go 2-1. And if Rice had won that thing tonight, it'd be the first time since Eisenhower was president that they would have gotten off to a 3-0 start. Heck of a comeback by Iowa State because they were down 27-14.
I remember the buttons. I like Ike.
But do you remember Rice going 3-0?
No, but I remember Ike.
Before the snap, a movement by the offensive line, still 2nd down.
Rodney Gordon looked as though he came out of his stance too quickly. Stewart, the lone setback. He gets the handoff. Big hole in the middle. Takes it across midfield. And that will be enough for the Volunteer first down. 11 yards in the play.
Just a draw again. Second and long yardage. Watch the block on the linebacker. Right here. Watch how Tennessee sets it up. Here comes the block on the backer. That springs James Stewart for big gainer. Again, second down. That's been a draw down for Tennessee.
Benny Price is the man who got taken out on the play on the block. Stewart again on the draw. This time it's Price who comes blitzing through. He hit him first. And then was finished off by Alonzo Etheridge, number 91. But it was Pierce who was there first.
Keep talking about Carl Pickens. Carl Pickens is the reason the draw opens. He's the reason the other receivers are open on the pass, because just his presence on the field, you have to make sure he's covered, because a big play will kill you quicker than anything.
Mose Phillips comes into the backfield for Tennessee, number 19. He had a very good game against Mississippi State last week. 10 carries for 68 yards. Pass zipped complete to the tight end Mark Adams, and the senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, takes it across midfield. Dale Crawford there to make the defensive stop.
Ron, both offenses are going to have to be patient in this game, because it's going to take drives like this to continue them to get down there and score.
Well, Andy Kelly right now 5 of 8, 49 yards. Tennessee actually starting this drive with the best field position that they've taken the ball with all night. And with that, the end of a very quick first period. So let's take a break. At the end of the first 15, it is Tennessee nothing and Auburn nothing. Oh, the first play of the second quarter.
5 DBs in the game.
Zips the pass, has it complete, good for the first down at the 35-yard line. J.J. McCluskey, a junior from right here in Knoxville, made the reception. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Well, Ron, the offensive coaching staff down here realizes just exactly what Coach Godfrey said. It is the offensive priority to get the ball to Carl Pickens. Here's the way they're going to do that. His initial route is going to be about 5 yards deeper to drive the double coverage back on their heels. Then he's driving directly back at the ball to get separation and get himself open.
All right, there he is. Let's see if this comes of age. Up they go with the running play. Good heavens. Chucky Johnson got to the ball carrier just as quickly as Mose Phillips got the ball. Wow.
Chucky Johnson busted through and just broke ahead of the block of the offensive center. See the left side of your screen. Watch Chucky Johnson. Just no one picks him up. He's in the backfield before the ball's handed off. But here's where Auburn's got hurt on second and third down. They would be, when they've been in their nickel situations, when Tennessee's had the most success running the football.
Campbell and Phillips, the two setbacks this time. Incomplete. In fact, the closest man to it was Crawford, the middle linebacker. I think Faulkner is the one that he wanted, and at the last minute, it's almost as if Kelly wanted to take that pass back.
I tell you, it's almost better for Tennessee that he didn't throw that, because Darryl Crawford was sitting right on the inside route where the ball was going to be thrown. Good screen down here for Tennessee.
Third down. The line to make the 25 of Auburn. Incomplete, and a poorly thrown pass by Andy Kelly on that one. McCluskey was the closest man to it. And the storyline on this one so far as we look at fourth down, and will Johnny Majors punt, or will they go for the distance field goal, or will they go for it? And the storyline brought to you by the Army. Stewart of Tennessee, 55 yards rushing. Auburn fumbled at the Tennessee 12 in total offense. Auburn 77, Tennessee 114. They are going for it on fourth down.
Well, Andy Kelly can punt, so this is a pooch punt type situation. If he doesn't see what he likes, he'll punt the football.
Yep, but that's exactly what he does. Takes a big Auburn bounce and is going to go dead at the 23-yard line. Faulkner downs it's good for only 15 yards, but out of harm's way.
Ron, he makes you keep your defense on the field, so you can't have any kind of return. If they wouldn't have covered the wide receivers, then Andy Kelly had the right to throw the football. If there was something inside, he could have ran it, could have went back up under the center and called a running play, or punt the football like he did.
Well, the season is winding down, and the Dodgers are in the thick of the NL West pennant chase, but Will Clark and the San Francisco Giants would love to play the Spoilers. Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening here on ESPN. White going to go on top, and he's got a man wide open. Good heavens, Herbert Casey looked like the first guy out to the workout, and he overthrew it.
Boy, great
Most
pressure.
un-Stan White-like.
Great pressure by Chris Mims and Chucky Smith. And that's the tough thing about playing quarterback against Tennessee. If they start drawing a bead on you, those defensive ends, they'll make it tough for you to throw. That's why draws and traps will be the things you'll start seeing against that four-man front.
2 of 6, 43 yards. 4 overthrows for White in the ballgame. They set the screen, and he does it beautifully. And he is open. Joe Frazier, bad ankle and all, and you can see him limping. He's got one man to beat. He'll break the tackle, and Frazier will score. Take care of the rush, and Stan White did it to perfection with his ball handling.
Draws, traps, screens. When you have a four-man rush and those ends were roaring up the field, they were vulnerable for the screen.
John Von Weil to attempt the extra point. He's good. And the Auburn Tigers, on the strength of a 78-yard screen pass to Joe Frazier, go on top in this ball game with 13-11 left until halftime. It is Auburn 7 and Tennessee 9. Well, we mentioned just before going away on the break that's how you take care of the rush. That's also how you take care of over 90,000 partisan fans. Von Weil kicks it 6 yards deep into the end zone, and there will be no return as Carter sees it fly over his head. And let's take another look at the touchdown.
Well, when you run a screen, you have to have some actors, and the actor sometimes has to be the quarterback to get the lineman out. Now you're going to see Stan White drop back. Here's the fake to Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier will just start over. There's the fake. There's the pump. Now he gets the screen. You get those big linemen out in front, and there's Smoking Joe just smoking down the sidelines, limping away, but he broke the final tackle for the touchdown.
Tracy Smith is the man who tried to hit him last, and the tackle was broken, and he took it on in. 78 yards. Stewart on the left side will go for a couple, and it's Fred Smith, the freshman cornerback from Eufaula.
Both these teams are so deep in personnel. Auburn uses almost 2 teams on defense, so they stay fresh. Tennessee does the same thing on their defense and offense, so they play a lot of players. So depth will be a factor, but both teams are pretty well even, so it should be an even match the whole way.
Kelly zips it, has it to McCluskey, and a foot race at the 50. Pushed out of bounds by Alex Thomas at the 43-yard line.
You're going to see Andy Kelly look for J.J. McCluskey. Here's the throw. Now watch him break it outside. As a defensive back, you cannot allow him to get outside the picket fence we used to talk about as a secondary. You let him outside, and that's how he gains so much yards.
Keith Schuler is in the ballgame, number 21. Now, he is a backup quarterback, and he's going to throw, and they're looking for Carl Pickens, and he has it and drops it inside the 5-yard line.
They snuck the old backup quarterback in, but I think Auburn was ready for it. They had him double covered. They had Carl Pickens, 2 people on him. Carl Pickens almost came up with a play because he's such a great athlete. Here you see the toss. to Heath Schuler, the backup quarterback. He wears number 21. That's sometimes how you can hide him. Here you see the two defensive backs that have him double, but Carl Pickens still comes inside and almost makes the play. Here's another look. Carl Pickens fighting through, trying to get that ball, and maybe a little pushing.
Fred Smith might have been fortunate that they did not call pass interference. As you see the shovel pass to Hayden, and he will take it to around the 39-yard line. You know, Auburn used that play last week against Texas, and one of the coaches was talking about trick plays and that they like to use one first sometimes to maybe get the other coordinator to say, well, they've already used it, so it might not work.
You can forget that on this game because both these guys like trick plays, and I've seen so many trick plays all day today in college football. It's unbelievable. But they're not tricks when they work.
That's right. To the 30-yard line is Mark Adams, and Tennessee has had the greatest success with their tight ends tonight.
Tennessee has to do is be patient. Andy Kelly with a pass here, and you're going to see Fred Smith, number 6, come in here and make a good tackle. Good tackle driving the tight end back, but Andy Kelly knows he's seeing double coverage on his best athlete. Now he needs to pick the other players up, and it'll open for Carl Pickens.
Kelly's now 9 of 14 for 107 yards. 3 catches by Adams as whistles blow and a flag is down at the 32. 7-0 if you've just joined us. Just over 11 minutes to play till halftime. This has been a very rapid first half with both teams running the ball quite a bit.
Before the snap, offensive lineman moving, 5-yard penalty.
Basketball coaches would call this a box and one on Carl Pickens because that's what Wayne Hall, the defensive coordinator of Auburn, has selected to do tonight. He's not going to try and let this man beat him. He has beaten the other teams with big plays. Now Andy Kelly and the offensive Phil Fulmer has to be able to be patient and use his other receivers and running backs.
7th play of the drive, and they go with the draw play. That's Aaron Hayden, the freshman from Detroit. Ball is loose, and Auburn has recovered at the 31-yard line. Mike Pena, number 23, a sophomore from where else? Merritt Island, Florida. Seems like we have a kid each week who is from Merritt Island.
And the state of Florida just keeps putting them out, putting the high school prospects into colleges. There you see Aaron Hayden feels very badly that he fumbled that football, but he'll get another chance to get back in there in the next series.
White drills it, almost intercepted. Good heavens. Rod Lewis had to go right through his hands. I mean, he was there. He can't believe it.
First down play call. You're going to try to go to the tight end, Fred Baxter. You're going to see number 5 come into your screen, looking break on the football, almost made the interception. I think he may have lost it.
Let me remind you of one thing, Mike. Last year in the Tennessee-Auburn game, Tennessee dropped 5 possible interceptions. There's one tonight. We'll keep count.
Good count.
Big opening, and Smith will take it to the 40-yard line. Tim Brando, another update for us.
Yes, on that other team from Alabama. Let's take a look at Bama's Danny Woodson against Vanderbilt. It's a touchdown pass to the freshman David Palmer, 27 yards. Alabama goes up 7-0 in Music City, USA. Meanwhile, Syracuse in their opening drive against the Green Wave get a field goal from John Biscup. They lead the Greenies 3-0.
7-0. Auburn leads, and they have just picked up a Tennessee fumble on a drive that was moving deep in their own territory. Quick handoff. That's the quick trap that Tommy Bowden said they put in last week against Texas because they felt as though the way Texas played that defensive front, and they run it right there to McMillan, only for a couple.
The reason that play works is because of Stan White, the quarterback. After you give the ball off to Reed McMillan, then he runs a bootleg fake. Well, everybody's so conscious of him taking the ball outside, it opens up the fullback.
Tommy Bowden has to be extremely pleased with his offense. They have gone on top tonight, and of course with what happened with his father earlier today up in the state of Michigan, as Florida State rolled big time.
It really did. Casey Weldon was outstanding. As you showed Tommy Bowden there, remember too that Pat Sullivan's on the sideline, so Stan White has the benefit of having a quarterback coach who's been in these type ball games.
McMillan, 45, Sean Walker, who injured the ankle last week, did not start tonight as Ingram got the call. Sean is playing, though. He's out of College Park, Georgia. And that thing has really turned into an ankle that has been a problem. He hurt it last year against Kentucky. And it seems like every time he gets it well, he re-injures it.
Tennessee needs him in the lineup.
And I'll tell you, Auburn got fortunate there because the great defensive play, but on a tip ball like that, if that had been tipped and intercepted, there was nobody down the sideline to prevent a touchdown.
We're going to see in the replay, they're trying to go to the weak side over here to Joe Frazier because of the too deep coverage in the secondary. You're going to see Stan White look right to the right side. Now he has this tight end over the middle. He's not open. Came open late. He tried to get the ball to Joe Frazier. Just threw it a little too hard.
Third down, the line to make, the 49. And the reverse will go nowhere. Thomas Bailey broke one tackle and then just got pummeled at the 40-yard line. Chris Mims, and listen to this ovation for the defense.
Tennessee may have stopped this reverse, but I'll tell you what this reverse will do. It'll open something a little bit later. You see Chuck Smith just played it outstanding. But the other thing that we watch is Thomas Bailey, how exciting a player he is. He almost came out of that. Just was no place for him to go. But that reverse will slow down that rush. Reverses, draws, screens, traps, open everything.
Bailey is still down, and he's talking with the training staff and is okay. Going off on his own steam. Dale Carter back as the deep man.
Texas almost blocked 2 punts last week on Auburn. Would not be surprised with 10-man rush here to try to go after the punt.
First punt by George tonight, 45 yards. Balls have got the return on. This is a great punt. Both punters putting on a good show this evening. Carter breaks a couple, but he will be stopped at the 27. So 8:13 left until the halftime. Auburn, almost 10,000 fans journeyed up here from Auburn. Right now they are excited as they lead Tennessee 7-0. Stewart to the left side. Tries to bounce to the outside and will be pushed out of bounds shy of the 35. It's Corey Barlow. And let's go to Tim Brando for another update. Tim, what do you have for us?
You know, Alabama has been averaging 40 points per game in their last 6 series wins against Vanderbilt. They may be on their way tonight. Kevin Turner bolts in from 7 yards out. The Crimson Tide is indeed rolling. 14-0 still in the first quarter, Ron.
Well, hang on. If Alabama gets that offense cranked up as well as that defense can play, they will be a big factor. Kelly on the quick out pass. McCluskey. And a nice job defensively by Corey Barlow. There is nowhere he can go. And right now, Auburn defensively is just playing them like a textbook. It is going to be a third down. And the line to make is the 38.5-yard line.
Tennessee just has to stay patient. Andy Kelly with a good throw there. It's just a good play by Corey Barlow. You have to give the defense some credit. But they're moving the football. They just have to remain patient.
Clemson, who we will have on next week against Georgia, having a score in the waning moments to win. Stewart breaks it out big and almost to the 50-yard line. It's Pena from the free safety position. And Tennessee converts now 13 carries, 76 yards for Stewart.
They ran to the side. They have Carl Pickens lined up because the linebacker's playing outside. There you see Stewart break inside and break to the right to pick up the first down. Big, strong running back, 6'1", 196 freshman.
Stewart again has 5, counted off at 10. Another Tennessee first down as they keep it on the ground, and the point that you made a moment ago about patience, that's what Philip Fulmer, the offensive coordinator, is having.
It's going to get a little tougher now as they get inside the 40 because Auburn will start to blitz a little bit. They're still basically his own team, but you have to take what the defense gives you. They're taking away Carl Pickens. They're giving you the run. Take the run.
Stewart, as you hear the pads crackling, turns it upfield, 5, now 10, counted off at 12. And the youngster is really having the night. He is getting close to 100 yards, and we still have 6.5 minutes till halftime.
Well, what will happen now, Ron, is that with James Stewart and the way Tennessee is running the football, that will open Carl Pickens. Watch Darryl Crawford, number 56. Outstanding linebacker from Fairhope, Alabama. Going to come in, make the play late, but he had to come from so far away. They blocked it so well at the point of attack.
Stewart now 101 yards. His career high is 108. That was against Mississippi State just last week. Mose Phillips takes it to the 29, and the crackling the pads down on the field. As far as the noise of this crowd of 97,000, to be able to hear the pads crunching that way will give you an indication of just all the contact that is going on down on the floor of this stadium.
Well, Johnny Majors looks on. It's a tough physical football game, a typical SEC game. Chucky Johnson, number 79, was up the field again for the Auburn defense on that play.
Mose Phillips caught by the ankle, and he will not get away. Nice job defensively is 96 Jason Merchant. He's only a sophomore from Central Alabama. He's there to make the tackle.
This is Wayne Hall's defensive game plan. Hey, I'll let you move. I'll let you go to the 20, the 40, the 50, the 40. But when you get down here now, it's going to be a little tougher because you're out of some room. But he still will not let them get the ball to number 15.
Tavio Henson, number 28, checks into tailback. Third down. And they need the 19-yard line of Auburn. Kelly steps up nicely, throws the pass, and the route was run inside. He threw the pass outside.
That was their chance to get the ball to Carl Pickens because they one-on-one, finally gave him a one-on-one situation, blitzed Andy Kelly, and just threw it wide.
So fourth down. Kevin Wendelbo will attempt the field goal, and this one is going to be placed down at the 34.
See, Ron, most offensive coordinators are not patient enough, and I was that way. You want to score so quick.
Kick is on the way, plenty of distance. And Bexford, I beg your pardon, number 10 rather than Wendelbo, knocks it through. And the balls are on the scoreboard. So let's take a timeout. 4:49 until halftime. It is Auburn 7 and Tennessee 3. Seven to 3 is Kevin Bexford, a freshman out of Chattanooga. Nails the field goal, but it's 7 to 3. Chapman just kicks that one at 6 yards deep. No return by the Auburn Tigers. And now Auburn with 4 minutes, 49 seconds until halftime to work with. As Stan White comes on, and he has had a very fine first half. Oh, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, join Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and Ned Jarrett for all the wheel-to-wheel excitement from the Brushy Mountains of North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. NASCAR at its best tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Alex Smith. Smith will have a couple and then is knocked down very hard on the far sideline. Casey Rogers, number 99, you could see him coming in. Ole Miss leading Arkansas by 10 as they play in the third. Joe Frazier all the way out to the 35-yard line. Darrell Hardy finally made the tackle on him. Mike, if this guy's playing on two good ankles, wow. He's playing on a bad one.
Well, you see Joe Frazier, number 5, didn't practice much this week. He was a middle guard in high school. He never played running back before. Pat Dye got a call from his guidance counselor, and that's how he got to Auburn.
Going on top, and he's got a man open. It is caught at the 21-yard line, and now taken away and intercepted by Tennessee's Dale Carter.
Outstanding throw by Stan White to Tony Russell, number 84. Just a great job by Dale Carter. Here you see Tony Russell down the middle of two deep zone. He's open. Here comes Carter over and just pulls the ball away from him for the interception. An excellent play by Dale Carter. Here's another replay. Look at the pass being ripped by Dale Carter.
Well, he just took it away from him.
Took it away, and it fell right in his lap.
Kenneth Campbell, one of the rare carries for the Tennessee fullback, and he takes it to the 23-yard line as the clock now under 3.5 minutes left until halftime. So turnovers have plagued both ball clubs in this first half, but it has not been because of a lack of concentration. It has been good hard hitting and concentration on the defense. Pickens steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and let's go back to Tim Brando for another update. Tim.
All right. Remember, Florida State will take on Syracuse next week, but David Walker's concerned about Tulane getting in from 3 yards out. The Orangemen now lead the Green Wave 10-0. You'll recall Tulane knocked off this bunch at the Carrier Dome. They were a different team then, Ron.
That Syracuse football team heading for a showdown with Florida State. Very interesting. First catch for Carl Pickens tonight. The running play to Stewart, and there is nothing there on first down. Walter Tate is down at the bottom of that pile. Think Pickens is getting a little frustrated, Mike?
I think he'll get frustrated during the ball game, and that's what Auburn wants, to frustrate him as much as possible. Walter Tate, the big middle guard who just made that play, just played the Texas game last week. That was his first time out. And he'll just round into better playing shape as he plays.
Kelly drills the pass. McCluskey knocked out of bounds short of the first down at the 39. And that will stop the clock. 2:20 till halftime.
Good play call. That is a good fake off the run that's been so successful for him. They got Andy Kelly out on the corner. He had a lot of time to see his receiver and throw the football. He's an experienced quarterback. He's been in big games. Stan White, the young quarterback for Auburn, is just going to get better. And Andy Keller, as I said, knows his offense and knows where to go with the football.
Johnny Majors loves his quarterback. He said he is as smart as any that he's ever had. Stewart tries to cut back against the grain. Look at him putting the one hand on the ground. And the good balance in the second effort will get him an extra 5 yards. Pena defensively.
Boy, Tony Stewart just with a good job getting his hand down. You see Pat Dye looking on. He knows that Tennessee's having some success running the football. Here's Darrell Crawford, just misses the tackle. You have to credit Tony Stewart or James Stewart with running out of that tackle.
James is shaken up. A freshman, one of two freshmen that have had to come in and play a lot in a very youthful offensive team for the Tennessee Volunteers. And of course, next year, Mike, they're going to be very youthful on defense because everybody on that defensive unit, with the exception of only a couple, are seniors.
A veteran defensive team, and you have two freshmen, and James Stewart, Aaron Hayden, that play a lot of tailback. You're going to see the play again. James Stewart, he makes him linebacker miss. Darrell Crawford stays, keeps his hands on the ground, tries to regain his balance, picks up valuable yardage. Somebody may have just rolled on his ankle.
Part of the record crowd here tonight of 97,731. Interestingly enough, they do not have a game in the entire month of October here at home, but 2 of those are open dates. Coming up at halftime, the halftime report with Tim Brando and Lee Corso. Stewart comes out of the ball game, 17 carries, 110 yards, and that is a career high. Tavio Henson comes in replacing him, number 28. Henson gets the ball. Comes to the near sideline, pushed out of bounds after picking up the first down at the 40.
Well, Tavio Henson is a better pass receiver. That's what Bill Fulmer told us the other day, that he likes him in the game because he knows the pass offense. But James Stewart and Aaron Hayden, both freshmen, have just been so dominant in the running game. But Tavio Henson with a good reception there and good yardage after the catch.
Clock now becomes a factor. 1:53 remaining until intermission. Auburn is leading by 4, 7-3. Short drop that time. Who was he looking for? Well, just overthrown. Carl Pickens.
Threw it too hard, Ron. He just threw it much too hard for the short route that he was trying to get.
Well, they've tried a little bit of everything. 13 of 20, 138 yards for Kelly.
There you see the ball just a little too hard, a little too high. Carl Pickens came open on the short post and back to the linebacker. Ball just going a little too hard.
9th play of this drive for Tennessee. Kelly's going to run. 15, now 20 yards, and he's all the way down to the 16-yard line before Benny Pierce makes the stop, and it's the gain of 25.
Big drop by the linebackers, and when he saw that his receivers were covered, he knew right away he was going to run the football and pick up the yardage.
Timeout. 1:39 until halftime. Auburn 7-3. Well, you see the clock. 10th play of the drive. It started at their own 20 with 3:39 until halftime. Over the middle. Touchdown, Tennessee. Sport with the extra point attempt. Makes it through. And with 1:32 left until halftime, the hometown folks are finally smiling as Tennessee goes on top 10-7.
Remember Tavio Henson, number 28, the tailback. You see him sneak through. There's nobody for him to block. He's a safety valve. Ball's thrown high. He's able to bring it in with one hand, then get in for the touchdown. That's what they said they liked him about. He had good hands, and he knows what to do in the passing game. There was no one for him to block. That became a possibility now for him to get out in the route, be a safety valve. Andy Kelly saw him, hit him with a pass. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Well, these 97,000 have been silenced a bit through a portion of this first half of play, but not anymore.
Nice drive by the offense. Phil Fulmer, great play calling in that series to get that football the length of the field against a very, very tough Auburn defense. I don't expect Tommy Bowden to sit on this ball with 1 minute and 32 seconds. I expect him to try to get down and get himself in field goal range.
Key play of the drive, Andy Kelly with a 25-yard scramble, and Mike made the great point of so much attention going toward Pickens that Auburn got caught napping. Bailey from the 4. Hang on. At the 30, at the 35-yard line, and the last man that could have gotten him is Dale Carter, and he does. But it's a 31-yard return, so Auburn will take it over with great field position and 1:24 to play.
Tommy Bailey is exciting. Number 18, he's a freshman. He has great speed. He makes you miss. He's a big play receiver. Now let's see what Tommy Bowden's got up his tricks right here. What kind of tricks will he use here to try to get that ball down the field?
Frazier's back in the ball game, number 5. Herbert Casey across the 45 and to the 47. That'll stop the clock for a moment with the game 12 as they move to change.
Auburn has all 3 timeouts. They got time on the clock. There's a lot of time and no need to rush. They have everything in their favor. Except them defensive ends.
Heavy pressure. Flag comes down, and he throws back against the grain, overthrown. And Frazier was alone. I believe offensive holding is what they're going to catch Auburn with on this play. Just the 2 people Mike was talking about, the defensive ends, were coming like a house of fire.
Can't block him. Sometimes you have to hold him. Chuck Smith and Chris Mims, both outstanding in this situation. They know it's going to be a pass.
We're in the run of holding, but offense, we take the first down at the 2-yard line.
They widen their stance, and they're just on a tough pass rush. Watch Chuck Smith, number 56, come up the field. There's the grab. That's what the referee saw. Called on the penalty. Now Stan White, with his good quickness, was able to avoid the rush and still get the pass off.
So the situation, it is now first down for the Auburn Tigers. They got to go way down to the 43 for the first down. And McMillan on the draw play. And from that shotgun formation, they will take it out to the 43-yard line.
The shotgun gives you an opportunity to see the field better. You don't have to drop back. You see Pat Sullivan calling the play. You see the field better. You have more time to get the ball off.
Boy, big pressure, and they'll get it. Todd Kelly. First time that the Auburn quarterback has been sacked tonight, and it comes at a very large time with 27 seconds left. And Auburn calls a timeout to stop the clock.
Pat Sullivan just settling his young quarterback down. Just doesn't want him to make a big mistake here before halftime, but still wants the ball to go up the field. Either a couple things in this situation. You run the draw or trap or some type of screen, or throw the ball as deep down the field as you can.
Stan White, very pleasant young fella. Talked with him yesterday, and he said this is his first opportunity to play here in Knoxville since last year's game was down in Auburn, and he's only a freshman. And now the series will be stopped because of the realignment in the Southeastern Conference. And the only time that they will get to play in his career is if they were to face off in the playoffs.
He's a bright, alert young man.
Frazier, and Auburn tries to play it safe here. They just going to try to run the clock out.
Tennessee's going to force them to punt.
You stop it with 13 seconds until halftime, and Tennessee does call the timeout. As Blake and some of the offensive linemen for the Tigers came back, they took exception with the exuberance in which the tackle was made before and after the whistle.
Well, with 13 seconds, you have to feel the reason they called the timeout is to get a 10-man rush and try to block the punt.
And the other side of that coin is when you've got a number 18, plus the fact, watch, I think what Johnny's going to do, he may put Pickens back there as well. I think Tennessee, I watched them on Thursday, and on special teams for the first time this year, they were using both of them back there at a time. So do you go after it, or do you try to get the ball in either one of their hands? There goes Pickens back for sure. We don't see number 18 Carter yet, although he is on the field.
I think with 13 seconds, I know he's dangerous, but with 13 seconds, I think I'd try to block it.
Yeah.
Especially with the problems that they had last week.
George, 2 kicks tonight for an average of 45 and a half. Well, I'll tell you, his blocker almost backed up into him, gets it away, and it'll come out of bounds on the near sideline. And Pat Dye had made up his mind already. He said, I'm not going to give Carl Pickens the football, not with 5 seconds left until halftime.
Kick it up section 22. He's not going to get the football.
That's right. It doesn't matter really how far it goes. Just keep it away from him. So now the ball's with 1, maybe more, but probably only 1 play until halftime, unless there's a penalty.
It's been a well-played first half, a tough first half, physical football game.
And now Tennessee will play it safe. You can see the safety valve man deep behind Andy Kelly, who is McCluskey, and that'll do it. They head to halftime, and just what we expected. This entire series has been so tight, and 10-7 is our score at halftime. Joe Frazier scored on this 78-yard screen pass. Tigers went on top, but Tennessee had an answer. Tavio Henson over the middle. So at halftime, the Tennessee Volunteers leading Auburn by a score of 10-7 here before this record house at Neyland Stadium. And when you look at the first half statistics, it is all Tennessee.
Well, it's been an even first half. There's been some big plays, but when you look at the possession time, 19 minutes, 18 seconds, it's all been Tennessee.
You have an interesting replay to show here that gives an example of what has happened as you take a look at those first half stats.
Well,
Mike.
the 25 rushes for 147 yards, that's what took all the clock away from Auburn, and Auburn only completed 4 out of 11 passes. That's why Tennessee has the lead. Here's the replay of the big play to Tavio Henson. Watch him, number 28. Because of the blocking scheme, he's able to get out and be a safety valve. If Auburn would have brought a linebacker, he would have to block. Now watch him as he enters into the pattern. He'll catch the ball over the middle. The linebackers drop deep. You see Andy Kelly drop back. Now see, he has no one to block, so he's a safety valve. He just hooks over the middle. Andy Kelly looks for his receiver, sees Tavio Henson, gets him the ball, the deep drop to the linebackers. He's able to get in the end zone.
So we're set to start this second half of football, and it will be the Auburn Tigers who will be receiving. Thomas Bailey is the deep man for Auburn. And again, the kickoff by Chapman, 5 yards deep into the end zone. The best friend of a special teams coach, and Auburn will scrimmage from their 20.
Auburn will need a better production out of their passing game. They need to keep the ball away from Tennessee's offense. They need more opportunities to get on the board. Joe Frazier starting at tailback.
Joe Frazier, amazing. The fact that he's playing tonight has a 78-yard touchdown. Yesterday, appeared as though he could hardly run. And he is hit after a gain of only 1 by Shazan Bradley. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten down on the sidelines.
Ron, thanks very much. Tennessee trainers tell me that James Littleman Stewart stubbed his big toe into the first half. He had 110 yards in that first half. Told they will not use him in the third quarter or the fourth quarter unless absolutely necessary. Ron.
That is a wow as far as Tennessee is concerned.
That's why it's great Tavio Henson's in there, because he's a little more mature, knows the passing game, and he played well when he came in.
Stewart had over 100 yards in the first half. Pass is thrown complete. That's Dale Overton, who played a big part in Auburn's come-from-behind tie last year down on the Plains.
Well, when you have the problems that they're having with the defensive ends, what do? Well, you move your quarterback out of the pocket. Here you see the route of Dale Overton. Stan White gets out of the pocket on the rollouts, able to throw the out route for good yardage.
Chuck Smith, the second time that White has been sacked this season.
He just beat the block of the left tackle, Chris Gray, just right around him. Number 56, Chuck Smith, I've been so impressed with him. I've watched film of Tennessee. Look at it. He beats the block. He's got the beat on the quarterback. He drags him down. He doesn't miss once he gets in the backfield.
the senior from Athens, Georgia. Remember back in the first half that we described him as a Lawrence Taylor type player. You can see why. He was a very good athlete. McMillan running out of the shotgun, and he will take it for 6, now 7 yards. And Auburn will be confronted with a 3rd down, and the line to make is all the way out to the 45-yard line.
I still believe Auburn needs to try to get the ball to tight ends. They have 2 excellent tight ends in Fred Baxter and Victor Hall. Those are the 2 type players that can get down the middle of the 2 deep coverage. They need to get them the football as John Majors continues to pace. He's done an outstanding job here at Tennessee.
Auburn 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions tonight. White overthrows it. Tony Russell is the man that he wanted, and the special teams will have to come on it already. They are standing here at Neyland Stadium for the defense. Dale Carter goes back in a single safety, and again, George, who was only a sophomore, back to punt.
Looks like Chris Mims or number 58, Todd Kelly's injured.
Kelly's a junior out of Hampton, Virginia. Let's take a look at coverage. See if Tennessee is coming after him, if they have the return on. If they have the return on. Carter gets 1 block, a crushing block, and he breaks it. Now a late flag comes down as he's going to return this all the way inside the 20, and that's going to be called a clip back at the 25-yard line. 45-yard kick, 47-yard return. Add a 15-yard penalty, and it's going to be a penalty of about 62 yards, Mike.
Oh, an excellent return by Dale Carter. He's just such an exciting football player. When he gets his hands on the football, you'd like to see him play offense as a receiver, as a running back. He's just amazing once he touches the football. Auburn special teams are coached by a graduate assistant, Tommy Ray, which a lot of coaches wouldn't do, but Pat Dye believes in him so much he gave him the job to coach the special teams. And he's done a good job with them. We're going to see a replay. Johnny says that was no clip. Here you're going to see Dale Carter. We may see the block. It's the first block that they call. I got to think that's a clip. I agree with him. There was a second clip, so he could have called either one of them. But Dale Carter excites the crowd here in Knoxville.
Well, look at George. He was just sacrificing his body, and Carter hurdled him.
Well, usually when you get to that point, it's the Olay technique. You know, if you just get by him.
So Tennessee scrimmages for the 4th time tonight deep in their own territory.
Big break for Auburn.
Kelly's going to put it up on 1st down. Looking for Pickens. He's got it. And he will score. Yards.
See how long that took to get that touchdown? You have to drive the football in about 15-play drives. It takes 1 play when you get that guy open like they did right there, and it takes just a few seconds to get those 6 points on the board. Auburn was successful in the first half stopping him, but they came right out in the second half, first play offensively, and got him the football. Great call by Phil Fulmer.
What a way to open up the second half. Export with the extra point, and he knocks it home. 1 more look. As Pickens who can do it all and watch him. Working against Fred Smith. Smith has good coverage. Pickens has to hold up for the ball. Looks as though the tackle will be made, and he just breaks it. He's a big receiver.
That's one of the few times you didn't see the free safety over the top to help.
So there's a timeout. 12-12 left in the third. Welcome back. Pickens, 87 yards of the touchdown. And Mike, tonight our audience is witnessing the largest crowd in Volunteer history, and they have just seen the longest pass in ball history, 87 yards. The old record was 85. Tackle will be made shy of the 20-yard line as Bailey tried to get outside on the left. The old record was 85, so they break it, they eclipse it by 2.
Oh, it was an outstanding play.
Sorry, let me go to Mr. Brando. He has an update for us.
It's a ballistic missile update, Ron. Take a look at Kadri again. Boy, Paul Pasqualoni really inserting him into the offense. He'll go 64 yards for the touchdown. He has 136 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. It's almost like his brother needed to migrate to Canada for him to become a star. Back to you guys.
Some people feel as though Kadri is even quicker than the Rockets.
He's maturing every day.
This crowd all of a sudden has become involved in this football game to the point where they're like a 12th person. The defense really has picked it up even a notch for Tennessee.
Well, that helps your play con. When you play such great defense as Tennessee's playing, and offensively you can take some more chances that you ordinarily wouldn't if your defense wasn't playing as well as they are.
Hit in the backfield. It's going to be third down. Shazan Bradley got there first. Mike, what Auburn has to be very careful of. Last year, the scenario was very much the same as Florida came in here. They need desperately, I think, to pick up this first down right here and get this crowd out of this thing because Tennessee could start to operate at a fever pitch.
Well, this ball game's not over by any means. They just have to have patience and not commit a big turnover. Try to get the ball to tight end. Try to get something good to happen.
Pass is caught by Overton at the 33-yard line. Floyd Miley had the cover, but Overton, a wonderful job of keeping the 1 foot inbounds.
Great throw by Stan White. Again, you have to respond when you're behind. Here he's on a rollout. They're trying to roll him away from pressure. There's the comeback route to Dale Overton. Well run route. But again, I think the key is they're starting to move Stan White around a little bit to try to keep him away from the rush.
This is Rod Lewis, who was down. Fletcher had started the game tonight. Roderick Lewis has been the starter, but because of an injury was not able to start this evening, or it was iffy whether he would, and he's back down again.
No, Ron, Miami started this defense. I mean, other people played the 4-3, Texas A&M back in the old days, and Emory Ballard and Melvin Robinson, but Miami about 5-10 years ago, Howard Schnellenberger said they went to a 4-3 defense. They played a lot of 2-deep coverage, and it seems like a lot of teams have now tried to run this scheme. Tennessee may be one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're so experienced. When you got so many lettermen like they do and so many veterans, they are very difficult to move the football against.
But the man who orchestrates it is Larry Lacewell, who, of course, had more than 10 years of success at Oklahoma. And we asked him yesterday if this defense was comparable to some of his great defensive teams at Oklahoma. And he said close, but there are a couple of areas that they're still not quite as good as he would like.
He wants those Selman brothers back again.
You have to stand in line. There are a lot of people feel that way. White with the play action, going to go long. He's on top for Herbert Casey, and the ball is tipped away. Casey was banging bodies with Jeremy Lincoln.
Herbert Casey pulled a little basketball move there. He pulled up to try to draw the interference.
Put him on his hip. Yeah.
And he really had him right on his hip to catch the football. Just didn't pull it in. veteran play right there by Herbert Casey, the senior, 6 foot, 188 pounds.
Well, Casey's going to have to turn it up a notch because Pedro Cherry went down with an injury this week in practice to his knee. Pedro is lost for the year. They pull the guards. Kept from the backside. Shazan Bradley is there to make the tackle and the running play. All of a sudden it is a 3rd down. The Auburn Tigers will need the 43.
If you have any questions about the defensive tackles of Tennessee, watch Shazan Bradley, number 40, just beats the block, comes up underneath, and is able to make the play on the counter. He came across the face of the offensive guard.
Pressure again on White. Gets it away to Frazier. And he will be hit at the 35-yard line. J.J. Surlis got outside, and it is 4th down for Auburn.
Dan White thinks there's 15 jerseys out there with Tennessee on them right now. They're just all over the place. They're running to the football well. They have a beat on the Auburn offense, and they are playing great defense.
Dale Carter is back deep. Good high spiral. Good coverage kick. Carter. Nip tag at the 28-yard line, and let's take a break. 9:16 remaining, 3rd period. It is Tennessee 17 and Auburn 7. Circle Park on the campus here at the University of Tennessee. 9:16 left in the 3rd. The Big Orange of Tennessee, 17-7 over Auburn. Crawford makes the tackle as the ball still being fought for out to the 43-yard line. Mike, I looked down. I thought he was down, and they're going to call him down, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay. Arkansas coming back on Mississippi, but the Rebels still lead by 7. And Texas Tech, mild surprise there as the Horned Frogs leading at halftime.
Tennessee's averaged 7.3 yards on 1st down. That's been the key to their success tonight.
Auburn averaging just above 2 yards per try on 1st down. Kenneth Campbell breaks it big out to the 45-yard line as Pierce and Crawford will combine on the tackle.
You have to look at the offensive line of Tennessee. Look at the trap block. You see the center block back and the right guard, Mike Stahl, trapped the defensive lineman in the 4-3 for Auburn, and that's the reason that play opened up.
Bernard Daphne is in the ballgame at left tackle for Tennessee, and that time behind Daphne, Myslinski, and Spivey. Some good blocking up front. They set the screen, and James Stewart just fell down as soon as he caught it. Crawford was right there on top of him. He had done a good job of smelling that one out.
It's a big drive for the Auburn defense. They have to turn Tennessee back at this point, I believe, because their offense has been stopped by the Tennessee defense, and Tennessee defense not going to give up many points, so they're still in this ball game. There's the Auburn defense right there, allowed 127 yards passing.
Pressure from the outside, and the pass gotten away. No, he caught that out of bounds. That's what I thought. Corey Fleming had lost exactly where he was in the field.
Auburn brought a stunt from the wide side of the field. You'll see the man coverage that Tennessee is facing right here, and there just stepped out of bounds when he made the catch. Man coverage, the man will always play it to the inside. The outside route, the outside move will be what's open.
Mike Pena, the sophomore from Merritt Island. Good look at him, number 23. Aaron Hayden comes in, and he's the lone setback for the Volunteers on 3rd down. Kelly drills it. Has it complete at the 45, J.J. McCleskey. Well, they didn't have to go far to seek him out. He's a junior from right here in Knoxville. Even plays some defense for them from time to time.
He's a very good athlete. Just ran the curl route, and he ran it just far enough to pick up the 1st down. Again, Andy Kelly, the experienced quarterback, the experience is paying off for him tonight. He's made good decisions in the passing game.
McCluskey now with a career high for him, 6 catches for 74 yards. Aaron Hayden, and the freshman from Detroit can't make a turn at the 45-yard line. A couple of good-looking young tailbacks, though, in Stewart and Hayden.
Well, they are, Ron. That's exciting. And what's happening now to the Auburn defense is they have to stop the run, so they have to commit 7 people to the run. Now, number 15, Carl Pickens, can't be doubled. They're in the style of the game right now that he's going to be one-on-one and have the chance to catch the football.
Well, you see him at the top of the screen. He's lined up against the veteran Corey Barlow. And that's who they go to Pickens. Against Barlow, and a great job. They'll pick up the first down, but he used the sideline nicely and just pushed him out of bounds.
Did a good job defensing him. You just gave him a little room. You just get burnt for a big touchdown run, and then all of a sudden, you're going to give him that 5-yard catch. But what happens with a guy like Carl Pickens is after he catches the ball, the yardage he makes, he's an outstanding football player. He is an exciting receiver.
Well, look what he's done. 14 career touchdowns, an average, look at this, 40.5 yards per touchdown, 9 receptions of 30 or better. That's the reason, as Mike said, you have to look so closely at him. Now whistles come in. Time left on the 25-second clock at a timeout called by the Auburn Tigers. So with 6:19 left to play in the third quarter. Tennessee 17, Auburn 7, and the Tigers want to talk about it. 17-7, a 10-point bulge. Time is back in, and it's first down for the Vols from the 35. Short drop to throw. Kelly's pass incomplete. Ronald Davis, number 1, the man that he wanted. He's a freshman from Bartlett, Tennessee. Phillips will come in to the offensive backfield. Kelly's numbers: 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 of 27. That's 66%. That's even higher. He came into this game throwing 64%, which is terribly high. He's even above that tonight. Sets up the screen over the middle. That's Phillips. Nice job defensively. That's Chucky Johnson, number 79, the junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Chucky was a tight end in high school.
He's had a good night. He has played well against the run, held the screen, was able to come off a block and make the tackle. 6'2", 280.
He received the award in the spring for the most improved player. Pat Dye is very pleased with the speed of that defense, much to his liking. The defensive linemen, all the front four that start, run under a 5. Aaron Hayden, and he will have the Tennessee first down as Gerald Crawford has him in his grasp, but not far enough back upfield, and it's at the 24. Coming up at the end of the ball game, Mike and I will be picking the Visa players of the game, the MVPs for both clubs tonight, so stay tuned for that.
It's a dangerous type of field right now where you got Carl Pickens in there in the short side of the field.
Tennessee with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and 1 setback. That's Hayden. Hayden gets the pitch, cuts in behind the block of that tight end. He'll go for about 5. Ricky Sutton is there defensively.
Went to a 2 tight end offense there, and 1 back pitched the ball. Now, Phil Fulmer's now giving them a lot of formations now to contend with, so that they're having to move their defensive front around in different looks. And you're able to do that when you have a quarterback with the experience of Andy Kelly.
Adams and Reeves again, the 2 tight ends set up. Hayden, good play defensively by Auburn at the 19-yard line. Etheridge and Walter Tate are there to make the stop. But now the Volunteers with a 3rd down, line to make this the 15.
ran a little counter play because Auburn flows so well with the play. They started the pitch one way, came back the other way. Now this drive started on their own 29, 12 plays. And when you looked at the stats in the first half, that was the impressive thing, the way they were running the football and running clock with it.
This time, Kenneth Campbell is the only setback for the Volunteers. He gets the call, and he's not going to have the first down. He's going to miss it by a yard, maybe a yard and a half, depending on where they put the spot down. All right, if you're Majors,
kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal.
Johnny's thinking about going for it.
Now here comes John Bexford. John is a true freshman out of Chattanooga. They were even thinking as late as this week of redshirting him. And he said he's got such a good leg, they're going to give him a shot. He has responded tonight.
Andy Kelly ran out in field and called timeout.
Well, it's time now for a weekly presentation of the Toyota Leadership Award. Tonight's winners are from Auburn University, Chad Muhlenberg, a junior from Odessa, Florida. He's involved in the Adopt a School program, and he makes frequent talks with youth and senior citizens groups. And from the University of Tennessee, Tom Myslinski. He's a senior from Rome, New York. Tom has served as honorary coach for the University of Tennessee Medical Center's Fighting Chance Games, and also was a volunteer at the Tennessee State Game Sports Fest. Toyota, pleased to donate $1,000 to each player's school's General Scholarship Fund. And our congratulations to those youngsters. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. And we are glad to have you along, as it's been a record sort of night. 97,731 here to see the ball game. And just a moment ago, Kelly to Pickens, 87 yards. That's a new passing record in Volunteer history. The old record was 85. Alan Cockrell to Clyde Duncan, 1983 against Vanderbilt. Bexford, 34-yard attempt, and the youngster is perfect. Flag is down at the 16-yard line.
After the play was over, we had a personal foul against the kicking team. It is good. We will administer it on the kickoff, 15-yard penalty.
Well, it's a full day of college.
Costly penalty because now Tennessee has to kick off from their own 20-yard line. So Auburn should get good field position.
Johnny Majors visiting with one of the officials on the sideline to find out exactly who the player was and what he did. Thomas Bailey is back deep, and as Mike mentioned, because of the 15-yard penalty, Tigers should be able to get it in okay field position. Bailey from the 17. And he will cross the 35 and be out of bounds at around the 37. Florida State this afternoon coming up big in a big ball game away from home, and Coach Bowden seems to have that happen. I think one thing that the people who picked the ball game forgot: check Bowden's record. When you give him 2 weeks or longer to prepare for a game, his percentage is up in the 80s. It is incredible.
He wouldn't be bad with a couple hours.
Joe Frazier hit at the line of scrimmage, and there's just not very much there. Chuck Smith, one of the first men to come through and make the hit. Then also Kerry Bailey, number 53.
Chuck Smith just comes inside the block to make the play. Joe Frazier, you see the tackle. They're tough against the run, Chuck Smith and Chris Mims. They're strong on pass rush, and they're tough on contain. They're two outstanding defensive ends.
White, beautiful pass over the middle, has it complete to Thomas Bailey at the 45. White is getting better and better, Mike, when you put the pressure on him of keeping cool feet and delivering.
Watch the fake here. The fake's not going to hold much right now because of being behind and throwing the football, but that can't be thrown any better. Thomas Bailey, freshman, number 18, with a good reception and into Tennessee territory.
Last year, he still would get nervous feet a little bit. That's working away from him.
Quarterback has to have game experience. You have to have it.
They go with the run. It is Frazier. He'll bounce it out to the 40, or down to the 40, I should say. Sean Walker there to make the stop.
What's helped Tennessee a little bit on defense is when they played against UCLA, Homer Smith, same type of offense, a shotgun, the same type of running plays, the same type of formation. So really, they're seeing an offense for the second time. Different jerseys, different players inside of them, but it helps.
Smith with the pitch. Breaks off one tackle. He'll fight his way for a very tough yard. And now it's third down Auburn. And the line to make is the 35 as Tom Fuller is there defensively.
There you see Pat Sullivan on the play. He's got Tommy Bowden on the other end of those phones. Tommy Bowden, you see, offensive coordinator calling for Pat Sullivan.
Pressure all over, and that one is incomplete. And Stan White just had to throw it. He is still sitting back at the 50. He's okay, but he was under a complete rush of orange.
Tennessee came after him, made him force the throw to the fade route, which is the only route he had.
Rogers, Walker, and Kelly, all three on top of him. So George will have to come in and punt it. Seconds left in the third period. Inside the 10-yard line, and that's where it'll be touched dead. And let's go now to Tim. I have two recommendations on that one. If you're weak of heart, don't go, because my friend. And also bring plugs for your ears.
That will be a great football game.
Yeah, it really will. That's exciting. 2 weeks from tonight. Straight ahead with the running play is Tennessee just tries to push it out for a little breathing room away from their end zone line, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. So as we head to the final 15. Stewart will take it to the 10, and it's going to be third down. That'll be a gain of only one. And let's go down to Adrian Carson, who is with a special guest.
Special guest, Ron. This is my newest friend. This is Smokey the Sixth, Tennessee's blue tick hound down. Poor Smokey, 2 weeks ago against UCLA at 110 degrees. He was called out there. He suffered heat exhaustion. Went into rehab. He's back here tonight. Smokey, how you feeling? Smokey, you're with ESPN again in 2 weeks against Florida down in Gainesville. Right now she's saying, lucky dog, I'm a lucky dog.
Intercepted by Auburn, and Fred Smith will take it for the touchdown.
Third and 7, Ron. Andy Kelly with a bad throw. Fred Smith just sitting out there in the flat waiting on it. They rolled up again on the wide receiver. Had the two-deep coverage on him. Picked it off for a touchdown and got his team back in this football game.
Well, we mentioned off the top of the telecast that Kelly had an inordinately high number of interceptions, 7 coming into the game. But that one for the touchdown, and Von Weil will try to pull his ball club to within 6. Boy, one more look.
Pat Dye knows his defense has got him back in this game. Here you're going to see an eye backfield. Andy Kelly's moving around a little bit. Never got his feet set. Was trying to go to Carl Pickens. They had him double teamed. Bad choice to throw to a receiver when he's double teamed. But you see Andy Kelly when he comes out, he never sets. He's moving in the pocket. He's trying to force the throw to the great receiver. Picked off by Fred Smith. Kind of evens out a little bit. The long pass that they had with Carl Pickens, now trying to get one into him. Touchdown for Auburn.
Home run for home run.
Yeah.
Well, there's Fred Smith. And we told you off the top of the telecast, he's only a freshman. But I think he's going to be a great one. The Auburn coaches certainly think he is. And all of a sudden tonight, he has grown even more. He had an outstanding game last week against Texas.
Well, their secondary is good. I'd say their defense is very sound. And again, now Andy Kelly's going to have to respond when he goes back in there. He just made a bad choice, and they'll settle him down on the sideline. Sometimes when you have a receiver as good as Carl Pickens, and I know I've talked about him tonight, but he's spectacular. You can't force it into him all. There's something else open when they double you. And when they're doubling one of your best receivers, then that leaves you the run game and something to the wide side of the field to your other receivers.
Ron Wiles kick. Carter made the catch on the run, breaks it out and had two people to beat, and Corey Barlow saved what could have been a touchdown out at the 40-yard line. 26 yards on that return.
If I'm playing Tennessee, that young man's never going to touch a football against me. I'm going to squib the kick. I've seen him do too many things with a punt and with a kickoff return. He almost pops out of here. Very fortunate Corey Barlow, number 12, made that tackle.
Actually, it was a very tough running catch. The ball was a knuckler. Bernard Daphne came out of a stance. That's going to cost Tennessee 5, and all of a sudden, the Volunteers, who had all the momentum in this football game, seem a little bit unnerved.
They get an interception. Come back, now he jumped it. Dale Carter gave him good field position. Now they're first and 15. Auburn now has to go back to defense in the run. The run is what's hurt them tonight. The run and the big play.
Dale Carter told me in practice on Thursday that he was anxious to see this game come about because he felt like, personally, he did not have a good game last year against Auburn University. Stewart cannot get away from Crawford. And Darrell, the senior from Montrose, Alabama, is right there to hit him and knock him down for a loss. And rather than that 7+ yards on first down, this time Tennessee loses yards.
Well, Auburn's gaining momentum. Their defense is doing it for them right now. Their offense is a little sluggish, but Auburn is playing a 4-2 front. 4 men down, 2 linebackers, and they're able to stop the run because Tennessee has removed their tight end from the ball game, and they're playing with 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs.
Kelly throws it low, incomplete, and now it's going to be 3rd down. And because of the penalty and then the loss on the first down play, the line to make is all the way out at the 50-yard line.
When the past, when Tennessee's had this situation, they like to throw routes where the receivers are coming inside. But they're going to need to get just almost to midfield with the route. Johnny Majors pacing the sideline. He had this game well in control till the big turnover.
Going to go upstairs, looking for Pickens down at the 30, makes the catch, and Pickens will score.
Take the air out of somebody's balloon. I'll tell you one thing. Throw a high fly to Carl Pickens. Carl Pickens is going to find a way to catch it. Just threw the ball out there, and he ran under it. The defensive back misplayed the height of the ball, and
Kenny got turned around. He sure did. Bexforth with the extra point, and he's perfect. And as we go to break, let's take one more look at it. Kelly, the deep drop, and this just air it out. Saying, Carl, get under it. And he does, and watch Pena. He gets turned around. In fact, he's out of the picture right there. And with Pickens' speed, he will take it into the end zone. Tennessee 27, Auburn 13-19 remaining in this ball game. Tennessee, by the strength of that gentleman, 67 yards, 87 yards early. Chapman kicks it out of the back of the end zone.
let's take another look. What you have here, you got a corner number 6 who's going to trail on Carl Pickens. Watch Carl Pickens run by. Now here, the corner's going to run with him, but he's going to get help over the top from a safety. They have him double covered right here. They're in pretty good shape. For some reason, the corner stops. Number 23, Mike Pena, just misplays the ball, and you got another big play home run to Carl Pickens. And that's what I said at the beginning. You can't afford to let them have the home run. If you're playing Tennessee, take him out of the game somehow.
Well, there's Carl Pickens, 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. This almost, it might be like closing the barn and the livestock's already out, Mike. But you're talking about for other teams when you face them. White throws it complete. And Fred Baxter, if I'm not mistaken, Elvin, that's the first catch by an Auburn tight end tonight, isn't it? Yes. Elvin Lindblad, our statistician, nods his head yes. And that's a little surprising because they were integral parts of the weaponry last week against Texas.
They're two outstanding tight ends, Fred Baxter and Victor Hall. And against 2 deep coverage, you try to get them down the middle, but Tennessee, again, has been very tough to get anything going on.
Alex Smith has 5, has 10, and is now going to be pushed out of bounds by Carter out at the 49-yard line. And Alex Smith, a junior from College Park, does a very good job of picking up the first down.
Ron, I want to go back to that touchdown. Wayne Hall, I thought, had a great defensive call. Now, you got 2 people on their best receiver. You're supposed to stop him. So, but sometimes the guy is so good that he played the ball well, and they just overran a little bit. He makes things happen. That player right there, number 15, makes big things happen.
White throws it incomplete. I mean, from the backside, the pressure was coming to Chris Mims. Knocked down Stan, and he is just now getting up.
The 2 bookend defensive ends for Johnny Majors, Chris Mims and Chuck Smith, are both junior college transfers. They are just meeting at the quarterback.
There's Mims, senior from Los Angeles. 6'6", and on a right-handed quarterback coming from that left side, very, very tough. White pressured from the back, almost intercepted. Bailey, I don't even think the pass was intended for Bailey. I think he wanted his tight end, Victor Hall. Bailey tipped it, and when he did, he played defensive back, didn't he?
I think you're right, Ron. I think he was throwing to Victor Hall all the way, and he was hit as he threw, and I don't think he got enough power under the ball.
Third down. Deep over the middle. The receiver got upended, and that was before the ball got there. Fred Baxter really took a shot from Rod Lewis. Well, I guess that would have been an uncatchable ball.
Well, it was uncatchable because they took his head off, and that's interference. I mean, watch this throw now to Fred Baxter. They're trying to do exactly what we said you do against 2 deep coverage, trying to get down the middle, about 18, 25 yards, in the middle of the field to your tight end. Look, he never gets a chance to go for the ball.
Right, you're exactly right.
Wow, he took the hit.
Not particularly long, but it's going to serve well as Auburn has good coverage down at the 22-yard line. So Tennessee takes it over again. 12:06 left to play in the ball game, and the storyline in this one so far. Kelly, 323 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 of those to Pickens. Auburn rushing yards tonight, 62, and Pickens touchdowns of 67 and 87 yards. And there was a flag down back at the 50-yard line, and the discussion continues.
If I was one of those officials, I'd think I'd call even a play late the penalty on Fred Baxter.
Well, not on Baxter, but who hit him.
Wow. He did hit.
Defense within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. He comes back to the line of scrimmage, penalized 10 yards with a first down.
Holding called against the defense. So Pickens and company will come back over to the sideline, and the offensive unit for Auburn will trot back out.
Carl says, just let me on that field one more time. I'm having a big night here. Just throw it to me. I'll get it. Now you got an exciting guy, number 18. They do have some exciting players.
Dale Carter can light it up as well. You're right. This is McMillan driving forward. Chuck Smith will grab him to the ankles and stop him at the 35, and not before he's gained 6. I'm impressed with the fact that McMillan, you see the middle finger is wrapped. Now he's limping. He tore the ligaments in his finger on the right hand. The left hand, that's the thumb, that is bandaged. He injured that against Texas last week, and now he's hobbling off the field. But he has given them everything that he's had tonight.
Well, he's tough, man. Tough fullback.
Joe Frazier. You know, I think Frazier, who came into the ballgame with the injured ankle tonight, I think he has gotten better as the game has gone, almost as if the ankle has loosened up a little bit.
Sometimes that happens when you hurt an ankle and you get it loosened in the ball. I'll tell you one thing. Now, I'm impressed with him. Smoking Joe. Now, I'll tell you one thing. He came into this thing with a bad ankle. He's a middle guard from high school. He's just learning the tailback position. And you talk about toughness now. He's running against one of the best defenses in the country. And he's hanging tough.
It's an Auburn first down.
When I was coaching, I always liked those calls from the guidance counselor. Said, here's one, just take a chance on this guy. When they called Pat Dye from Montgomery, he said, take a chance on old Joe Frazier. He's a little middle guard, but he'll play somewhere for you. Little did Pat Dye know he'd be a starting tailback.
About to hit 11 minutes left to play on this one. Montgomery this time, or beg your pardon, Richardson, goes inside the 25 and it's down to the 26. Mims at the bottom of the stack. Tony Richardson replacing McMillan as a sophomore from Daleville, Alabama. And it was this time last year when we were doing the Tennessee and Auburn game that the Auburn coaches were talking about. They were extremely high on Richardson, looking for big things from him. So they've got 2 crackerjack fullbacks. 9th play of the drive. Frazier close to the first down, but that's Shazan Bradley, the senior out of Athens, Tennessee, who comes up to make the stop. Pat Dye paid Bradley some real good compliments this morning at breakfast, just saying he thought that he had made a considerable improvement at his position at that left defensive tackle spot.
The San Diego State coaches did the other day too. When I was out there doing that game, they said in that film they were very impressed with Shazan Bradley.
Third down, they need 1. Richardson running tough, and he'll have it inside the 20-yard line. Sean Walker, number 45, is there to make the hit. Mike, you know, for all the big things that have happened in this ball game, you look up there, there's 9:45 left. As Pat Dye looks up at the clock, I remember the score last year, 26-9, and all of a sudden Auburn came back. The Tigers, if they score a touchdown right here, they're within 6 points.
They're 2 big plays away from being ahead in this ballgame. The 2 big plays to Carl Pickens.
Richardson struggles for a couple. Chuck Smith is there. Well, 2 good things about this drive right here if you're an Auburn fan. They continue to move the ball toward the goal line. They are taking time off the clock as far as keeping Tennessee off the field.
They've got to have 2 scores, and they've had a lot of time. Time's in their favor also.
And they've been productive inside the 20-yard line this year, as you can see by those numbers. They set the screen in the middle. And incomplete. I'll tell you, the offensive line. McMillan ran up in there, and I think he got clogged up with his offensive line.
Well, there's so much pressure. Chris Mims, again, coming from the outside, puts so much pressure on him. You need time. Here you got some kind of mix-up, first of all, in the backfield. There's Chris Mims again. You have to have time to let the screen set up, and there's just no time for it to set up.
And again, if we go back to Mims, we talk about his height. Very hard to throw for somebody 6'6" who's leaping on him.
They use the silent count here with the shotgun.
3rd down. They need the 10. Over the middle. Got him wide open. Herbert Casey will have the first down at the 5-yard line.
When you get inside the 10, sometimes you like routes where you clear out with your other receivers and then bring Herbert Casey underneath. Here, the linebackers drop out of the picture, and he takes the ball down to the 5-yard line. See another look. Watch Herbert Casey come in underneath. Stan White, here's what he sees. He gets time now to wait for the route to develop.
White fumbles the snap. He makes his own recovery. Just a little over anxious. Wanted to make sure he got the ball out quick and got the quick handoff, and he put it on the ground.
Watch the tight ends now. There being a 2-3 tight end set here. Watch the tight ends for some type of crossing route. Good play fake by Stan White. Come out and throw the ball.
White got it on his hip, and he scores.
Great call by Auburn offensively. They went to a 3 tight end offense. You figured it was going to be a run. They lost the first down. I think they would have threw the ball first down. 2nd down, play fake to Joe Frazier. Stan White come outside, dove for the end marker to a touchdown. They're back in this game and plenty of time on the clock.
There is a lot of time. 7:48 to play in the ball game as Von Weil tries to make it a 6-point affair. So here's another look at it. The Stan White, the sophomore from Birmingham, will take it around the left side. And you can see Floyd Miley saying, whoops, I didn't stay at home, and it cost us a touchdown. And the head coach, well, as you might imagine, he likes it. We'll go away for a moment. Tennessee by 6. 7:48 remaining to be played in this one. It's a 6-point ball game as Von Weil hits it long and high again, and the kickers have done an extremely good job in this football game. As all of a sudden Carter says, I want to bring it out and thrill the crowd, and he does just that. He returns it out to the 25-yard line.
He threw a fat diet, too.
He is amazing. Thing is 5 yards deep. Everybody relaxes, thinking that well, it's in the end zone. He's going to go down on one knee, and he brings it back out. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Ron, watch the Auburn defensive line. They've just been sent into the game with instructions to attack the offense where it begins at the center position. Ryan Spivey, with chronic back problems tonight, had to replace an injured John Fisher. Watch for double teaming going, attacking the offense right over the top of Spivey on this series.
Well, 57 is the man that they're trying to go through and over. Kelly has a lot of time as he simply throws that one away. Faulkner was the man that he wanted.
See Andy Kelly with a play fake. Now watch the pass protection. If it's a 4-man rush, You got pretty good protection. Carl Pickens is streaking down the left side. He's covered, and he tried to come to Craig Faulkner underneath the Pickens route.
He's not playing like a guy who has lower back problems, is he?
I think he's played well tonight.
He has. Well, they set up the screen. You see him coming through, and that's Stewart. Gets by Cunningham and then is pushed out of bounds. This Carrican got a little piece of it. Then Pena and Corey Barlow team to make the stop. But it's going to be a third down for the Volunteers. And, of course, they got to take it to the 30-yard line.
I think now for Tennessee in a third and short situation, 3rd and 2, if Auburn stays inside with a 6-man front, they'll run the football. If they try to come in with a 7-man front, then I'd look for the quick pass to Pickens or the other receiver, Faulkner or McCluskey.
Kelly's thrown for 3 touchdowns tonight, 332 yards. Trying to add to it, and he does right over the middle of Craig Faulkner. But Tennessee picks up a very large first down.
Andy Kelly with a good choice. He saw that he had the route over the middle, the little quick throw, so he threw for the first down. Auburn trying to stop the run. Had pretty good coverage in the secondary.
Cunningham made the stop, and the Vols were able to keep it alive. Kelly has used 9 different receivers tonight. I think that was the number he used against Mississippi State last week. Stewart out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Who was it that said Stewart was not going to play in the second half?
The guy with a funny tie. They said, I think he tagged it with said, unless he's needed. Did he say that? He's needed.
And he's needed. 21 carries, 119 yards. No, that's we're not picking on Adrian. That's the information he was given. But the youngster's running and looks very healthy now. There he goes again. If that's an unhealthy run, I'd hate to have to face him if he was 100%, huh?
Ron, this league's so unbelievable. I coached in other leagues, but this league, the SEC with the crowds, and Auburn has their supporters here. They follow their team there at Texas. It's so intense every week. I'm so impressed with this league. Pat Dye and Johnny Majors, of course, the deans of this league right here, just do such a good job coaching. But it's just so intense to play.
Stewart breaks by a tackle, then will be hit from behind. It's Mike Pelton, a freshman, who grabs him to the ankles and stops him at the 39. Now, this is exactly what Philip Fulmer would like to see. Keep it on the ground for every opportunity that you can. The clock is now at 5:45, and just let that thing run down as far as possible.
Run the clock. Get in here for, if you can't score the touchdown, at least tack 3 on to put them away from the chance of one score beating.
Yeah, field goal is huge as far as Tennessee is concerned. And at the line of scrimmage, there is nothing there. Great job defensively. A 79 Chucky Johnson, one of the first men on the bottom of the stack. And also Jason Merchant, number 96. And now it's going to be 3rd down Tennessee, and they need to move the ball just inside the 35.
I think the call will be again, if 6 people are in the box, they'll run the football. They'll give it to Stewart. If not, if they try to come in with 7 people, which I don't think they will, then I think Stewart will get the football here.
It was Clarence Morton, the extra defensive back, number 13 for Auburn.
Good throw.
Kelly, 5-step drop, delivers it, has it complete. And J.J. McCluskey still fighting at the 25 as Mike Pena's trying to take the ball away from him. 15 yards and a first down for Tennessee.
Tennessee went with 4 receivers, let Andy Kelly find J.J. McCluskey on the curl route for the first down. And the defensive back from Auburn, number 23, Mike Pena, was just trying to strip it. He might have been watching that Jet game the other day when they stripped the ball late in the game that caused the big play.
Lloyd Kerr is coming to the ball game for Tennessee, number 11. But they go with the running play, and this is Mose Phillips. Spins across for a couple. Stan White anxious to get back on the field and see if he can make a reoccurrence of 1990 occur. And Mose Phillips is shaken up in the play, number 19 for Tennessee, and that's the reason for the whistle and the stoppage in play. Coming up at the conclusion of the telecast tonight, the Visa players of the game. Mike and I will have those for you. One for Tennessee and one for the Auburn Tigers. There's a comparison on the quarterback so far tonight. White 9 of 21. Kelly 23 of 35, and you see the difference in yards. 3 touchdowns for Kelly. Actually 4. He threw one to the opposition that wound up being sent into the end zone as Fred Smith made the interception and brought it back to a very close ball.
Stan White lost his top receiver, Pedro Cherry, this week in practice. And when you look at those yards for Andy Kelly, tackle out him on 2 big plays.
4:09 to play in the ball game. Tennessee 27-21. Oklahoma finally whipped Virginia Tech today, but that was kind of nip and tuck. And Clemson 9-7. And they dodged something gigantic at the end because Georgia Tech kicked a field goal, or attempted one, which would have been the winner. Next week we'll be down between the hedges in Athens to take a look at the Georgia Bulldogs playing host to those same Clemson Tigers. And Colorado falls again today. Are you surprised at that?
I'm surprised, but I think Denny Green out at Stanford's an outstanding coach, and Darren Hagan was hurt today, which I hope that's not serious, and he'll be back very soon.
NC State, maybe a little bit of a sleeper. East Carolina.
Big win for Billy Lewis.
Yep. Mississippi wins by 7 over Arkansas. Stewart breaks it open very close to the first down at the 17-yard line. Well, look at this. 138-103. That is Stewart's total against the entire Auburn rushing attack tonight. And that speaks volumes, particularly in this kind of football game in this league. Well, any league for that matter. You've got to be able to run the football.
Especially against this defense. And that's a good running defense team, Auburn.
The 11th play of the drive coming up for Tennessee. And we're about to go under 3 minutes to play. Stewart again. A little stagger step, and that will be the first down, plus about 3. Mike, it's a helpless feeling as far as Pat Dye is concerned, isn't it?
As you know, you have to come up with some type of big play. In Tennessee, just running the ball so well. Their offensive line doing such a good job opening holes for James Stewart, the freshman. Dangerous now as you got to try to put another man in there to help against the run, which opens up those wide receivers.
This is Brunson, the fullback. John Wilson, 72, is down at the bottom of the pile. Tennessee doesn't care. You were about to mention clock.
Taken away on Auburn.
That's right. Whether they get it in the end zone or not, as long as they have possession of the football, Tennessee really doesn't care. Goes to the checkerboard end zone here at Neyland Stadium. Stewart cuts it back up in the middle. Bad decision. James Willis is right there, number 51, and you see Pat Dye using one of those timeouts now as they have stopped the clock with 1:57 to play, and will take a break with them. Tennessee leading by 6. Welcome back. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. 1:57 left to play. Volunteers 27-21, and they have a 3rd down. They need the 5. Kelly with a quarterback draw. Going to be tackled. Boy, it looked like he had some running room, and all of a sudden it closed up in a hurry. That's Gerald Crawford. In Auburn will call timeout again. They'll stop it with 1:48. So let's take a break as the field goal unit comes on. We'll come right back. John Bexford to attempt his 3rd field goal of the night. He's already hit on 34 and 44. This one from 26 yards. Majors has found himself an outstanding freshman. 3 field goals tonight. And in fact, he is the difference in the football game as Tennessee leads it now 30-21. John is from Chattanooga, Red Bank. 6'1", 170 pounds. And as we mentioned earlier on in the game tonight, they had thought even as late as this week that they might go ahead and redshirt here.
Yeah, I think they're glad the decision was made. And so are these fans.
Well, be sure to join Steve Fisiak and Gary Danielson at 11 o'clock Eastern time tonight as the Trojans of USC take on the Oregon Ducks. That's 11 o'clock Eastern time, and that is following baseball tonight. Rushing yardage tonight, and Mike, it has been the big difference in this ball game. Auburn 103 yards on the ground, Tennessee 207, and then the 2 big home run plays. 87 yards, new school record, and then 67 yards to Carl Pickens.
Now, when you can run the football, it just opens so many more things open to your offense. Auburn with only 103 yards rushing.
Bailey at the goal line, and he'll return it. Oh, my goodness. At the 6. You could not, if you're an offensive coordinator, have drawn up the situation any better than what Tennessee has just completed. That was 15 plays, 66 yards, 5 minutes and 55 seconds.
Well, you know, and I'll tell you, and I've said this from the start, but what opens those long drives is Carl Pickens. He opens it because he forces you to play your defense a little differently. You have to make sure you cover him with 2 people, and you're always rolling to him, and your front, everything's affected by the guy on the field. And Andy Kelly wisely put 2 balls up there to him tonight for big plays, and he's the difference. And a great defense.
Personal foul against Tennessee.
Johnny almost took his coat off. Johnny's one of the more adaptively dressed coaches in the country.
White from the shotgun. They set up the screen. This is McMillan. 25 at the 30. Breaks it outside, and the big fullback now doing the wise thing, running to the sideline to stop the clock. 25 yards on the screen pass. Dale Carter made the play defensively.
Pat Sullivan and his coaching and Tommy Bond are just going to get Stan White better and better and better all the time. You're just going to see steady improvement in this young man as a quarterback.
White waiting to the very last moment, and it's intercepted by Darrell Hardy. Stan White waited just about as long as he could and threw the pass. A little underthrown, and it's picked up. Chris Mims was the man that was getting all over him.
Well, he just didn't have any vision. Chris Mims took the vision totally away from him where he was throwing the football, his hands in his face. That's a rushing interception. Look at the pressure. Watch this. Look at there. He just didn't see it. He just did not see the defensive man when he threw the football. Credit that interception to Chris Mims, number 93.
Tennessee's got 1 minute 22 seconds to get off the clock. They will remain undefeated as they let it run all the way down. Flag comes in. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game from Auburn University. Joe Frazier, 111 all-purpose yards, 1 touchdown. And for the University of Tennessee, no surprise here, Carl Pickens, 4 catches, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team and each university on behalf of these athletes. So Joe Frazier and Mr. Pickens, the two MVPs tonight. You're right. Pickens just makes such a difference as far as what you want to do and what you wind up having to do.
Oh, he really does. He just changes the whole game. But I'll tell you something. Wayne Hall had the right game plan tonight. I'll tell you, he called all the right defenses. I mean, this kid just made some great plays. And Wayne's going to look at that film and say, hey, I had a great game plan. Our coaches did everything we could do, and he still got the two big plays.
Kelly will go down on one knee, and of course Auburn cannot stop the clock. I'll tell you somebody else we need to pay some kudos to is Philip Fulmer, the offensive coordinator. They lost 2 first-round draft choices in this past year, both tackles, McRae and Davis, and this offensive line has done an outstanding job. I think Phillips is one of the most underrated offensive coordinators in the country.
Oh, I agree with you, and I think Larry Lacewell, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, the whole staff, you know, it's when they talk about the program, you talk about the head coaches, I'll tell you, the assistants play such a big role. It's a staff job, and the assistant coaches, both teams, are outstanding tonight.
Well, they counted down, and a record crowd of over 97,000 here at Neyland Stadium saw the Balls keep that record perfect.